Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into a story so terrifying, it feels like it crawled right out of a nightmare. But what if I told you that for one family, this nightmare was their reality? We're talking about the true story that inspired one of the most iconic horror films of our generation. The Conjuring. Imagine this, you've finally found it. The perfect home. A sprawling rustic farmhouse in Harrisville, Rhode Island. For Roger and Carolyn Perron and their 5 daughters, it was a dream come true, a new beginning. But as they settled into their new life in the winter of 1971, that dream quickly began to curdle into something sinister. It started with small, unsettling oddities. Their beloved family dog Sadie, who never left their side, absolutely refused to step foot inside the house. It was as if she sensed an invisible barrier, a presence that terrified her. Inside, clocks would mysteriously stop, every single night, at the exact same time, 3:07 a.m., the witching hour. Soon, a chorus of faint knocks and whispers began to echo through the empty halls, seemingly coming from nowhere and everywhere at once. The girls would complain about their beds shaking in the middle of the night, and a strange, rotting smell would waft through the house, only to vanish moments later. At first, the parents tried to rationalize it. Old houses creak, right? But the activity didn't just creak, it escalated. It became personal, malicious. Caroline started waking up with unexplained bruises on her body, as if she'd been pinched or struck in her sleep. The children began seeing things, shadowy figures that would dart just at the edge of their vision. A grim-faced woman in a gray dress who would appear at the foot of their beds, whispering threats. One of the most chilling incidents happened during a simple game of hide-and-seek. The family called it hide and clap. One person would be blindfolded while the others hid. The hider would then clap, guiding the seeker to their location. One evening, while playing in the dark, cavernous basement, Carolyn heard a clap from behind a sealed-off, boarded-up section of the cellar. Thinking it was one of her daughters, she called out. Another clap answered, but when she found all her children accounted for upstairs, a cold dread washed over her. Who or what was playing their game down in the dark? The entity in the house seemed to grow bolder, more violent. Objects would fly off shelves, doors would slam shut, and the spectral woman began to focus her torment on Caroline. The family was living in a constant state of fear, prisoners in their own home. They were desperate, with nowhere to turn. Who do you call when your house is haunted? In their case, they called Ed and Lorraine Warren. At the time, Ed and Lorraine were already renowned paranormal investigators. Ed was a self-taught demonologist, the only one recognized by the Vatican. And Lorraine was a gifted clairvoyant, able to see and communicate with the spirits of the dead. When they arrived at the Perron farmhouse, Lorraine immediately felt the oppressive weight of the entities within. She sensed not one, but multiple spirits trapped in the house. Some harmless, some lost, but one. One was pure evil. Through their investigation, the Warrens uncovered the horrifying history of the property. The land, they discovered, was once owned by a woman named Bathsheba Sherman. In the 1800s, Bathsheba was a practicing Satanist, accused by the town of witchcraft. In a horrific act of devotion to her dark master, she sacrificed her own infant child on the property before taking her own life, cursing anyone who would ever dare to take her land. Her malevolent spirit had remained tethered to the house, tormenting every family that had tried to live there for over a century. And now, she had set her sights on Carolyn Perron. Bathsheba's goal wasn't just to scare them, it was to possess Carolyn, to break her spirit and force her to harm her own children, just as Bathsheba had done. The haunting reached its terrifying climax. Bathsheba's spirit latched onto Carolyn, slowly and methodically taking control. Carolyn's personality shifted. She became withdrawn, her eyes holding a darkness that wasn't her own. The bruises became more frequent, more violent. The Warrens knew they had to act fast. They decided the only way to save Caroline and the family was to perform an exorcism. But getting approval from the church would take too long. Bathsheba was tightening her grip, and they were running out of time. In a desperate high-stakes battle for Caroline's soul, Ed Warren decided to perform the exorcism himself, right there in the house. What followed was a scene straight from the depths of hell. As Ed began the rites, the full force of the demonic presence was unleashed. The house shook, winds howled through the rooms, and Caroline, now fully possessed, was thrown around the room by an unseen force. She spoke in guttural, ancient languages, her body contorting in unnatural ways. She levitated, screaming blasphemies, her face twisted into a mask of pure hatred. It was a brutal, terrifying confrontation between good and evil, a fight for a mother's life. The Warrens, along with Roger and their team, held their ground, using their faith as a shield against the demonic onslaught. Ed commanded the demon, using the power of his faith to weaken its hold on Carolyn. Finally, after a grueling battle, the entity was expelled. The presence receded, the house fell silent, and Carolyn collapsed. Exhausted but free, the family was saved. The parents moved out shortly after, unable to ever forget the 10 years of terror they endured. The Warrens took with them a haunted music box from the house, placing it in their now famous occult museum to contain its dark energy. The story of the Perron family haunting is a chilling reminder that sometimes, The most terrifying monsters are the ones we cannot see. The film brought their story to the masses, but the real family lived through it. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other stories are out there, hidden behind the closed doors of ordinary homes? Thanks so much for watching and going on this terrifying journey with me. If you found this story as fascinating and frightening as I did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the world's most chilling mysteries. Drop a comment below and let me know, would you have the courage to spend a single night in the real Conjuring house? Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.